How's everybody doing this morning?
Good.
I know it's Friday, so we promise not to bore you today. And I also, when we walked in, the receptionist said, follow the Superman shirts. And so, you know, plus or minus the super, I do think that everyone in this room does have the potential to be a hero. Considering the line of work that we're involved in, dealing with the trouble, or the, see, I'm not too good with labels, and we'll talk about that later, but troubled or at risk, or delinquent youth, or youth in general, youth period. You know, it's a task, it's a job that doesn't pay much. It's a job that does require passion. You know, they say a passion is something that you would do for free. Unfortunately, you know, in this line of work, there are those who just wanted a job, or whatever the reason may be. It's just going to be that. And then, of course, there are those of us who, like I said, are real passionate about and concerned about the next generation of youth. As they said, my name is Kenyatta Siddiqui, and as Rosie said, I did time in prison, but guess what? I was also on juvenile probation. I was on juvenile probation at 12 years old. And from there, it never stopped. You know, I went to Gulf Coast, I'm sure you've heard of it. In and out of juvenile, and then, of course, throughout the years, you know, that turned into jail, then eventually prison, where I served 11 consecutive years. So I just want you to know what you're looking at. And guess what? I've had the honor and privilege also of working with Ms. Rosie Ruiz, who has always been a grassroots champion in terms of grassroots organizing or community involvement. And yeah, she's really a champion of the underground, or what you want to call the population, the target population that is sort of ignored. It's hard to find funding for. So I've also had the privilege recently of working with Miss Mary Grady in Fort Bend. I'm sure you've heard of some of you have heard of her, and Mike Mead, who's the chief probation officer in Fort Bend. I've also had the privilege of working at a place called the Odyssey House. I'm sure you've heard of that. It's a therapeutic community for youth, and you know, we'll talk more about that later in terms of my experiences working in that department as a behavioral technician. I do want to also say that it is an honor to be in front of you and as Shahid. Yes I did. I knew that I would be standing right here talking to probation officer eventually. And everybody else involved in this line of work, you know, because I'm currently immersed in a degree for social work. But again, I'm excited. I'm excited. This is beautiful. And I did some research on Bell County. I looked at a master gardening program that y'all had, a counseling program, I think the boot camp. You know, I did a little research. I said, I'm going to Bell County, let me see what they got going on in Bell County. Because, you know, Fort Bend has some nice programs out there, because I guess it's more, you know, it's not as wide as Houston. You know, Houston is hard, you know, because we've had trouble in the juvenile probation offices in Houston. Because it's just a cluster. But again, it's a privilege, it's an honor, and I hope that we can build today. I hope that we can gain something from today. You know, I know that I look forward to hearing from some of you, and you will hear plenty from me. And I promise, you know, the perspective I bring, I will tell you something new. I will give you something that you haven't maybe thought about the way I'm gonna give it to you. I can promise you that. So, without further ado, I'm gonna bring back the main host of today's evening. Oh, excuse me, the main host is Danny. Danny, you did a good job. Whoever designed them shirts, I'm looking forward to getting mine.
Me too.
Those are beautiful. I always tell the youth that be who you want your son to be, or if I'm talking to a guy, I'll be like, be who you want your son to be like and who you want your daughter to be with. Yeah, seriously. And so, yeah, I like that. Be the change that you want to see. And I promise you, you're looking at an individual who has been through some things and has made a dramatic change. Because again, I ran into a lot of the people, and I hate this, but I talked to the administration and for being juvenile, and the percentage of people who go through the juvenile detention centers that end up in prison is staggering, and it hurts my feelings. I ran into a bunch of people that I did juvenile time with in prison. And you know, when we paint that, what does that say? So anyway, but again, let me bring back up Rosie, and again, I look forward to it.